It's a positive film. It has heroes and villains, and that it essentially is a fun movie to watch. It's been a long time since people have been able to go to the movies and see a sort of straightforward, wholesome, fun adventure.
Well, it's a fantasy. It's not science fiction so much as it is space fantasy. And it's about people. It's finally about people and not finally about science.
The story, when you actually put it into words, is only so much nonsense to hang a great visual experience onto. It's the stuff that fairy tales are made of.
It's sort of boiling down religion into a very basic concept. The fact that there is some deity or some power or some force that sort of controls our destiny works for good and also works for evil.
Marvellous, healthy innocence. Great pace, wonderful to look at, full of guts, nothing unpleasant. I mean, people go bang bang and people fall over and are dead, but, no horrors. A sort of wonderful freshness about it, a kind of like a wonderful fresh air.
It's got whatever you want it to be. It's pure entertainment. It's like a roller coaster ride, and it can be interpreted as long as you enjoy it, which is the intention.
Hello, welcome back to Generation Skywalker. You are listening to episode 22 of The Modern Way. And with me tonight, well, we've got a full team. First of all, I've got Craig Spivey. Good evening, Craig.
Good evening.
Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you and everyone listening.
Resolution? Give me one resolution you're doing this year, Craig.
Dust more.
Dust more. Okay. I like that. Dan actually came down to see you a couple of weeks ago, didn't he? And he did say to me at farthest from, Craig's house is quite dusty.
He's wandering around, wiping his fingers on my shelves.
Dan was here. Yeah. Talking to Dan, I have Dan with us. Good evening, Dan.
Hello there.
New Year's resolution, Dan?
Sell more?
Sell more.
Yeah.
Are you still selling pictures of your feet?
Yeah.
That's going well, is it?
And my socks.
Lovely stuff. I've also got with me Jez. Good evening, Jez.
Good evening, Stu. Good evening, everyone.
Now, Jez, I'm going to ask you about your New Year's resolution. I don't want to hear more running, okay? So what's your New Year's resolution?
Do you know what? Take advantage of the time I've got with my kids more. It's almost, I've got to the stage now where I'm thinking, oh no, I've only got a couple more years before they potentially move out. So I want to do as much as I can with them and to hell with everything else.
Bless them. Are they on board?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, doing all sorts of stuff. It's new adventures and going off to Disneyland Paris next month. Just because it's like, let's do it. We need to enjoy our time a little bit more.
Nice, mate, nice. You'll enjoy the Build a Droid factory over there.
I can't wait.
Great fun, yeah. And I'm delighted to welcome for his first actual full recording our new member. You may have seen it on our socials. We've got Peter Lee. Welcome home, Petey.
Thank you very much. Good evening. How you doing?
I'm all good, mate. All good. Pete, resolution?
Resolution. Travel more, I think. I need to do more travelling.
You do quite a bit of travelling, don't you?
I do. Probably more in the UK. I do very little in the UK.
Wow.
Travel's always good.
Let's introduce Pete. So, Pete, for your first show on, it's The Modern Way, Star Wars. Where's your introduction to Star Wars? Where was it? I mean, you're a little bit, I think you're now the youngest on the crew here, aren't you?
I'm not sure. I'm 74, I was born, so...
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, you are older than what I thought.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I thought you were a lot younger than me. In fact, you're a lot older than me. In fact...
There's a compliment in there somewhere, isn't there, I think?
There was definitely a compliment in there. Is he older than everyone? Apart from you, Craig, obviously.
Obviously. Oh, that's cutting, that is.
Right, age and experience is fine.
I know Dan's born the same year as me, so it's all down to Jez here.
Yeah, he is older than me.
Oh, God.
I thought you were like in your 30s, Pete.
No, I wish.
Yeah, look at that.
Moisturiser.
Yeah. Well, I didn't see that coming. So, do you remember them from the initial?
I did, yes. I was born 74, but I had an older brother who was 70, so he was like perfect for the original, like like episode 4 release. And then, so I was aware of it. I was aware of Star Wars from an early age. I didn't go to the cinema for Star Wars, but then full on when Empire came along, I was sort of there. And then so Empire into Jedi, I was fully up for it. And loved it as a kid. Loved the toys. And just was into it from Empire up till probably sort of 82, 83 era. Sort of drifted off as many of us did, and got into like BMXs came along, and then just went with that, and then skateboarding, and then moved away from it completely. So, which is a familiar tale to so many of us, I think.
Wow. I'm still in shock, to be honest with you, Pete. I'm not sure what you just said. I can't believe you're the second oldest on here. Yeah. How old do you think he was, Jez?
I thought he was younger. I definitely did. I'm just still in shock. How old were your parents when you were born? Because you said I was born in 74 and I had an older brother who was 70. I was like, how old are his parents?
You're not 70.
Well, there you go. So, Pete, Modern Way. I know you're a big vintage collector. Are you heavily invested in modern? I know you do dabble in modern.
I dabble. I got back into Star Wars in the sort of early 90s. I kind of went full sort of Power of the Force 2. I got really sucked into that, and was buying heavily into that, which I've still got I've got the card of figures still, but I've been selling a lot of the box stuff. Current modern, I tried when I got back into it sort of 2014, 15. I vowed never to go back down that route again, because I'm still sitting on so much of the Power of the Force 2 stuff, and then did pretty well. And then I think we were in Chicago and I saw the prototype Vader, which I kind of really liked. So I picked that up, and then there's a few bits from the movies I was picking up from the sort of buying a couple of rays and a few loot from those movies. And then lockdown came along and Mandalorian figures came along, and then it just got out of hand. But I'm sort of in the process of trimming it. I want to be really picky. There's too much stuff coming to kind of get all of it, and I haven't got the space. So the stuff I've got, I'm trimming down and just really, really picky going forward. But I do keep an eye on it. I do keep an eye on what's coming out across the sort of the Hasbro stuff and Lego as well. I keep an eye. So, but predominantly the Hasbro lines at the moment.
Well, so you're pretty much invested then. So you're going to fit in here. I love the fact the Darth Vader prototype was what you got you back into it.
Yeah, I think
very split decisions on that line.
Yeah, I just really liked it. I don't know whether I mistakenly thought, they'll just do one of those, and that'd be quite a cool piece to have. Yeah, I think it's the only one that's actually retained any value, isn't it? I think the others are sort of drifting away. So I've got the Fett and Stormtrooper that came after that. So I've been buying a couple, but I have got carried away in lockdown, and then coming out of lockdown just realised I got too much of this stuff, and I was just getting it. It was turning up, looking in the boxes, and then it was going in the eaves in the loft. So I thought, this is ridiculous. And the amount is coming out, and just seeing these lists for the show notes it's incredible how much they're actually churning out every year.
There is indeed. Well, Pete, we will no doubt tap on you for more over the time in the future. I mean, you will end up buying something. Do you own a hot toy?
I don't, no.
Oh, there you go. There's the first challenge, Dan. Okay.
I know we had this discussion, me and Stu already. He got me going with hot toys, and it took about a year, Pete. So we'll see. We'll take bets on how long it's going to take you to buy.
Yeah, we'll see. You can try. I think I was in.
Dan didn't want anything to do with it, and then ended up buying tons of it. So.
Yeah,
how many hot toys have you now got?
And we've broken. I think Jezzy got one as well. He's got one on pre-order anyway, so we'll get there.
And Mark Daniels, yep.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
You'll do well if you get me to buy a hot toy, I think.
Challenge accepted.
That is definitely a challenge. Yeah.
The minute I said that, I thought, oh my God, what am I doing?
Are you going to Echo, Pete?
I am, yes.
Oh, we'll go shopping for a hot toy. Okay. We'll enjoy that. Right then. So, boys, Pete, what was the last thing you picked up?
Modern wise.
Yeah.
I got the Baru Homestead, the Lego Baru Homestead, which was, a very nice gift from...
The Lego?
Yes.
Yeah.
Martin Woodgate gifted me that.
Oh, he's a nice chap.
He is, yes. It's one of the Lego pieces I've currently got. So, yes, do like that.
Let's listen to the other acquisitions then. Jez, now I know you've been picking bits up because I was at Farthest From with you.
I have. But first of all, you always do this. We do a little round robin. You ask us all these questions. You put the whole sort of onus on us. And it's quite often, that people forget to say, what about you, Stu? What's your New Year's resolution?
Oh, I've got about 30, mate. Let's keep it toy related, this one, shall we? Because
And clean.
and as a collection space, I must get everything on display. But I mean, not just straight. I want lighting and acrylic and everything done correctly out in this room ASAP. That will be getting done. I have started. That's why it looks a real mess behind me. It's not actually as bad as what you think.
Okay. Well, you asked me what I've been purchasing. And do you know what? For the person who started these modern way shows, not modern character, I've done very well this month. It's only been about 4 weeks since we recorded. But yeah, finally, my Luke X-Wing Gentle Giant bust has arrived. I'm looking at it now. I love it. It's brilliant. And we've put together an unboxing video for that. It really, really is great. There's not that many of them in the UK, and I really, really love it. So that's Gentle Giant Luke X-Wing bust. Check it out on YouTube, the unboxing. It's truly wonderful.
But before you move on from that, I mean, we've been talking about that for over a year.
It's true.
Just how much do you love it? If you were rating it out of 10 right now, and you can use points.
Yeah, okay. It's easily a top end 8, low 9s. It's really good. It just sits really nicely in my little office. Looking at it now, it's just a perfect size, and I think it just fell out of my mouth when I was doing the unboxing. When I picked it up, I felt like I was holding the idol from Raiders of the Lost Ark. It's just really, conceptually, I love it, because you see these busts, you see these half-size busts, but this one, the plinth for it is the X-Wing. Yeah. So you've got a Luke X-Wing bust on a Luke X-Wing plinth going upwards, sort of, going ballistic, Mav, with R2-D2 there. And it's just really, really well done.
So worth the wait.
Yeah, definitely. And for those people who don't buy loads of modern and stuff, don't get suckered in like I did, because they came out, it was like, right, launch today, limited to 1,000 only. And I was like, quick, I must order it now, because we'll chat about it later on. Some things which come out on pre-order, which are, sold out in minutes, sold out, uber quick. And yes, I was like, I must order it, must get it now. And I think there's still 1 or 2 still available, over 12 months later on. So you don't need to rush out to get these things necessarily. Have a little bit of consideration before the purchase. But I'm so glad I got it.
Nice. And what else, Jez?
Yeah. So we went to Dave Tree's Farthest From just before Christmas. Had a great time. Really, really good. And picked up a few nice modern pieces at steals of a price, really, I think. Hyperreal Vader. Now I'm going to come to Dan with this, because Dan, you've had one and moved it on when you got your hot toy, I think. And
he moved it on after he got absolutely rinsed on this show.
Okay.
It was Luke, wasn't it? You had, Dan.
It was Luke, yeah. Well, I had both of them.
Okay.
Agreed. The Luke wasn't brilliant, but I got it, and I don't mind saying I got it for £20, and it was £20. I haven't got it out of the box yet, because the box itself is a work of art. It's a lovely, lovely box, you'll have to excuse the Velcro. Oh, look at that for an interactive podcast. Well, it's not really interactive, is it? But you get the gist. But you've got so many different things with this Darth Vader. You've got the plinth, you've got loads of different grips in the hands, and then you've got lightsaber bits, and then sort of, what would you call that? Force energy coming out of his hand is another accessory.
Like the deflection.
Yeah, it's just a really, really great figure in some really wonderful packaging, and for the cost of 3 pints of lager in your local pub, it's actually really, really good. So yeah, I'm dead chuffed with that. Really, really good. And what else did I get? Toy box. I got a toy box 2-pack with some clone troopers in, and predominantly the majority of things I got there was the vintage collection. I got a few more carded vintage collection bits and pieces at really keen prices. £10 in your hand. £10. So I got Rise of Skywalker, Knights of Ren. I got the little BB Pride figure. I got a few other bits and pieces. I've got a Shea Vizsla, which is really, really nice expanded universe bit. So yeah, all in all, that was really good. And also got to give a shout out to our friend Grant, because he's given me a 40th anniversary Empire Strikes Back Black Series Rebel Soldier, which is awesome. And I've still got that on the card. I haven't opened it yet, and I was really, really tempted. So yeah, Gentle Giant, I've got my Hyperreal, I've got a Black Series figure, and I've got some vintage collection. And just arrived today, I've got my vintage collection Return of the Jedi Princess Leia in Sandstorm outfit. And this is the first release of it with the little Darth Maul sticker on the front. And this one is, by all accounts, particularly hard to find. But I'm really chuffed with this because it wasn't listed particularly well on eBay. It didn't even say vintage collection. It just said Princess Leia figure. So I got that, and I think I got that at quite a good price.
Nice. That is a list, Jez.
Yeah, unbelievable list.
Mr. Modern. Well, there's one person who is the die-hard modern in it, and he's probably got a list longer than something that's really long. Dan?
I haven't. Yeah, I got a Hoth Rebel troop from Grant as well, which is really, really kind of him. I ripped mine off the card there and then, and it's a great figure. I knew it had the face plates in the backpack, so I've been switching those out, and I've got it on display in my little modern cabinet alongside a couple of other Black Series figures, so that was nice. And probably worth mentioning the K3PO we got from Clint, which is really cool. I'm so impressed with that. So K3PO is the white protocol droid from Empire Strikes Back in the Rebel base, and it's a vintage figure that he's reproduced, but it's fantastic. Yeah, so I was really, really chuffed with that. Outside of that, I covered most of it. We did the last show. The only bits I picked up were Christmas presents. So I got an Admiral Akbar Geeky Tiki from Harrison, and from Emma I got a Lego Mandalorian helmet and 5 pairs of Mandalorian socks. That's my list. Short and sweet from me.
So finally, and this is going to be awkward because I've got a Christmas present from Grant as well. I'm a bit worried. Craig, have you picked up any modern?
He included me on his present list. I'm not sat here going, I didn't get it. He told me he was sending it, and I left it to open under the tree when I saw a little parcel came from Wales. Isn't that lovely of him? He bought us all a Rebel trooper. He's a very good lad. So that was nice. But it wasn't the only Star Wars thing I opened under the tree on Christmas morning. I got a hot toy.
Woo! Which one?
Woo! So it's my 6th hot toy and 4th Star Wars one, and it's the New Hope Vader. I have to say, it's probably the one I've spent the most time fiddling with. Got the Force Awakens Luke and Rey and the New Hope Leia. And they just came out of the box and got set up and put in cabinets, and I kind of haven't touched them since. But this, because it does so much, this Vader, is because it'll light up bits and sound bits. I had a good old play with it and really enjoyed myself. Yeah, it's very cool. It's very cool. I don't think I'm going to use all those electric features. It's very... I always
play with them when you first open them, and and then they never go on again. Yeah.
Take the batteries out.
Yeah.
That would be my advice.
Yeah. So I put them in, had a little play, poked about with it, took them out, put all that back in the box. But he's found a home on the landing. He looks very cool. Very pleased with him.
See that, Pete?
I'm worried.
You have got no chance of not having a hot toy. I mean, even Jez has ordered one.
What do you mean? Oh, even Jez. You say it with such derision. You really do.
But now you're good friends with Martin Woodgate, Pete, and I know that he likes a hot toy.
He loves them.
Yeah.
And not just Star Wars, he buys across the ranges, I think. He's got the Batmobile on the way, which is, like, I imagine the size of a table.
Yeah, he's a nutcase, isn't he?
No, I see them in Forbidden Planet, and I don't know, something there just doesn't quite... We'll see.
That's exactly what I used to say. Going Forbidden Planet, see him in the covers, not really doing it for me.
Now you're in deep.
Not that bad.
Craig, have you put your Vader with Leia yet? Because they make a pretty good scene together, wouldn't they?
Well, you've seen my Leia, haven't you? She's kind of supposed on sort of the Tantive shooting the stormtroopers in her own little case, which just fits her. So to answer your question, no, I haven't.
You could take her out of that scene and just let them having a little chat together, couldn't you? But yeah.
Craig, does that one come with the interrogation droid?
It does, yeah.
Oh, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, for now, he's on the landing, looking down the stairs. Anyone coming up?
Congrats. Merry Christmas.
I also feel I should just mention the beer for anyone who is following the Advent. So we got the Advent pack of original Stormtrooper beer, but we got ill as we were filming them. Kimberly got COVID. Wasn't great for the tasting experience. So I will I'll follow up that particular avenue on social, update people with what came in the beer pack. But that was quite nice, technically modern purchase.
Yeah, we'll let you have that one.
What did Santa bring you then, Stu?
Well, okay. Let me just get a few bits out of the way because I think I said it last time. Who would have thought that two of us would own the Pride BB-8 since the last show? But I have had that turn up. The problem is with having groups. Now, I think it was Grant, actually, about a week ago, was like, Star Action Figures, I've got all these things for sale, really cheap. And I went on there and ended up buying a whole host of vintage collection, loads and loads of clones. Every clone that was in the sale I bought, thinking I'd do a nice clone shelf. But I've gone off that idea since since I ordered them. So I've now got a load of clones there. And someone else said to me there's a really good sale on In Demand. Who was that with the Obi-Wan retros? Is that you, Dan?
Yeah, that was me, yeah.
So I picked them up as well, plus some of the Mando retro I was missing. And for some reason, I've only just opened them tonight. Arrived a couple of weeks ago. But the whole first wave of the mini Transformers are in there. So I don't know what I was thinking when I was ordering on there. I think I did it in bed. I think you messaged it late one night. So I did also do that. But while I was down at Farthest From, I finally pulled the trigger on the Bo-Katan helmet in Dave's shop, which is nice.
I was with you.
Yeah, it was very nice. While we were on the Saturday, I got the full run of the Resistance figures. Never watched an episode of Resistance yet, but they were dirt cheap, so picked them all up in one hit. Grant's Xmas present, I too got the same as what you boys got. I picked up the Villainous board game from Dave's shop for my lad. Haven't actually played that yet. Obviously, you boys recorded the Tiki. I've opened and unboxed the Tiki dewback since then. Beautiful, right up my street. Love it, love it, love it. I love the way the little sand trooper sits on the front. They've actually made a certain dent for it, so it sits really nicely, which isn't the same with things like the Land Speeder and that. And the Tiki Death Star, bought a few, Dan. I bought a life-size Jawa at Farthest From. Jeff is just back down the room a little bit. And then for Christmas, Claire bought me the Hot Toy Ahsoka, which I've only briefly had out, but it looks really nice. And between Christmas and New Year, the Hot Toy Bo-Katan shipped. So I haven't had a chance to even open a shipper on that yet. So she is sitting in a pile under my desk with about another 7 or 8, I would say, unopened Hot Toys. But at one point, I'm going to have just I might sell one to Pete. Pete, I've got about 8 or 9 unopened under my desk. Gonna go mental one day and just sit on the floor in my pants with Hot Toys everywhere. But yeah, a treat for you all, no doubt, on TikTok. But that is it. So a little list.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff.
I missed out. I bought a load of stuff off Star Action Figures as well. I think I got four carded figures off of there. They were dirt cheap, like £5 each. Worked out. It was just crazy what they were selling them off for.
I had no intention of buying those retro Obi-Wan figures, but they're actually quite nice. Yeah, quite enjoy the Reaver.
Was there 8 in the box? Because I think
8 in total. Yeah.
What did you end up with then? Did you get? You must have got 2 of a couple of them.
Can I be honest with you?
You haven't.
When I just said Reaver's really nice, I've only just opened them. And Reaver was the only one I pulled out the box, and I put it back in and then shut the box back up. So I don't know what there's 2 of.
I think it was 2, wasn't it? The 2 Bens and 2 Vaders.
Was there?
So I looked at it. I was going to be away over Christmas, so I didn't want to trust the post. I think it was 2 Bens and 2 Vaders.
Okay. Who wants to buy a Ben and Vader retro? Because apparently I've got 2 of them.
I've possibly gone for that. You do a deal with me in a Hot Toy with those 2.
I was into a Hot Toy already. Broken.
I got to say that Star Action Figures, which you've mentioned and Dan used as well, I got a couple of carded figures from them. I think when everyone was sharing that link, because there were some really, really good value carded figures. And I got the Jedi Fallen Order Heavy Assault Stormtrooper and the Force Unleashed Stormtrooper Commander, and I got the pair of them delivered for about £15 all in, including delivery, and the delivery was really quick and well packaged. You can't ask for more than that. So yeah, fair enough. I think there was great service, and one I definitely use again, or have used now on 2 occasions and been pleased both times.
Yeah, they do package really well. Whenever I've used them, all those sturdy boxes and the bubble wrap is top notch.
Yeah,
I think In Demand and Star Action Figures, if you buy something, they're always with you within 24, 48 hours. It's always well turned over. Yeah, highly recommend them. Both great things. Well, boys, lots of acquisitions, considering it wasn't that long ago we recorded.
Impressive. Most impressive.
Because it wasn't that long ago we recorded, there hasn't actually been many announcements. So this show we're going to review 2022 and what came out in the Vintage Collection, Black Series, Hot Toys and Lego. But there has been just a smattering of announcements. And Dan, Vintage Collection, probably the most out of them all.
Yes, we've got 2 new Boba Fett's. I think on the last show, Jez spoke about the Kenner coloured version of Fett they're bringing out that was a bit controversial. I think they put it up for like 23 quid for a vintage collection figure. So they scalping collectors, and yeah, it looks like they're carrying it on now. So 2 more Target exclusives in the States. So is a vintage comic art, which is taking inspiration from the Marvel comics. So it looks like one of the 80s comic book covers they've used. It's a lot of green in this Fett. And then a second one, which is taking inspiration from the 90s comics, so more of the Cam Kennedy style Boba Fett, and painted in a similar way with a similar card back. So yeah, they're both due out probably in the next few months.
But before you move on from that,
yeah,
is it now getting a bit silly, because we are, every time we record The Modern Way, there is a new Fett paint thing.
Well, I think we're going to talk about it, aren't we? And when we start going through the year in review and the amount of repaints and repacks, and we've spoken about it the last couple of years, it's insane, and it's just carrying on now, isn't it? I mean, I think
it's churning it. I mean, people collect Fett in particular, and you're just like, they're just taking the pee, really. I think a little bit.
These don't work at the scale. To do that comic art, you need a bigger surface area. So you got the colour scheme, but they kind of need the black edges. Do you know what I mean, to contain the colours? So we talked about the similar approach with the Funkos last time, where you kind of got an area of colour defined by the black edge, but these missed the mark completely.
Yeah, there's something not right, and it's getting on my nerves actually that we keep talking about it.
That's not the only issue though with this, because there's another thing here. This whole pre-orders selling out almost as quickly as celebration tickets, and that's really, really frustrating, because what are they doing here? They bring these things out, and the first one which you showed is not so bad, because yes, whilst it's got comic art in the background, it's still using the Empire Strikes Back logo, but I'm sure I'm not the only person who's trying to collect one of each, with the different logos on the card art, which is what I'm trying to do, and I've been slowly ticking them off. There's a couple which are proven to be difficult. So now they've introduced a completely new logo for the vintage collection with the Star Wars Boba Fett, Death, Lies and Treachery. And you're like, oh, wow, that'd be cool. Pre-orders have all sold out. What's the point of doing those pre-orders? I would have thought the whole point of a pre-order is to assess how many we're going to need or what. But I think they're cutting off the nose to spite the face. And what is there? Why are they doing this? I really, really don't know. It's just beggars belief.
I don't. I mean, quite often, we've seen with vintage collection over the last couple of years, it's not often a figure instantly sells out, unless it is an exclusive from a convention. Generally, more of it gets released. I think the fact they've inflated the price on this, and it has sold out so quickly. It wasn't in the UK available through in demand, or they had very limited quantities, and Star Action figures, comics and cocktails, very limited quantities. I can't see that they're not going to get more of this. I think it's a bit of a ploy to get people hyped up about the figure, and the next batch they release, people will go, oh, I need one. I haven't looked on eBay to see how much people are paying for them at the minute, but I bet you they're paying at least 50 quid for them without looking.
Yeah, I mean, it just sucks all the fun out of it.
I think there's more to come, would be my bet.
Is there any track record of them doing that, and then what has come through? I remember the Fett prototype, that was sold out instantly, wasn't it? And then now you can get them pretty easily. I think they're still available on most retailers now.
Yeah, I think we see it quite a bit, unless it is a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive or, a celebration exclusive. These things seem fairly plentiful. So I suppose we'll wait and see, but I think there's more of them to come.
Well, I hope so, because the second one, the Boba Fett, Death, Lies and Treachery, yeah, definitely. I know what Craig is saying about the card art, and I get it. I see now what he said. Sometimes, Craig, I wish you wouldn't say these things, because I'm like, yeah, I get your point. You've ruined it now. But definitely want one of those in my collection. That needs to go into my my vintage collection.
So this time last year, they released the droid. Remember, they did the droids figures, and I think we'll probably talk about some on the list. I think it was about this time last year they came out, and I got the Boba Fett droids figure because I thought I'm never going to own a vintage one, so why not? It's quite a nice card back. Figures quite nice. That would, I imagine, be just as in demand as these figures. Yet that didn't sell out instantly, and you could probably, I think it's sold out now, but I don't think it's particularly expensive. So I think they're just driving up the demand for these particular figures. There isn't another vintage collection figure that's 23 quid. They all retail at $16.99. They're obviously playing games with these, I think. There you go.
Sorry, Dan, carry on.
I'm nearly done now. The next one is another clone trooper. This is another ARC trooper, to be specific, and Commander Blitz from the Clone Wars 3 3/4 inch action figure. It is a Walmart exclusive in the States, and it is $16 price to price. So yeah, it's still available for pre-order, and yeah, will be out some point next year, I imagine. And then we had some other figure reveals on the back of the Scout Trooper card back that's giving away a few more figures. So you've got the Hunter from the Bad Batch, which had been revealed. An Admiral Piet from Empire Strikes Back, a Phase 2 Clone Trooper, and a re-release of the fairly expensive Star Killer from The Force Unleashed. So there'll be some more figures that'll be coming out. Apologies for my dog barking if you can hear it.
Jez, just a couple, Jez. Black Series.
Yeah, you are. Now, first of all, when people have said to me, "Oh, Black Series, you're going to get yourself a Black Series, get the Gamorrean Guard." And what have they done? Re-released it, 40th anniversary special, Gamorrean Guard, Target exclusive. Looks brilliant. I mean, but we're used to that with the Black Series Gamorrean Guard. This looks ace. I love the fact that it's a double axer, and then it's also got his pike. Just looks really, really good. So a nice Target website available. Pre-orders started on December the 14th, and it's retailing at, guess it, $33.99. So sometime in spring of 23. But yeah, for the Return of the Jedi 40th anniversary, it does look good. Have any of you guys got a Gamorrean Guard on Black Series?
Yeah, seriously, get it and open it. It is beautiful.
Hasn't he got an articulated mouth or something? You can open and close his mouth.
Yeah, the thing is with this, it's got two expressions. It says one is more sedate and the other is more aggressive, because life on Tatooine is anything but predictable. So I like that. I'm it's got his gob open, really sort of like, feed me. But yeah,
my Gamorrean Guard's hanging out with Leia in a bikini holding a beach ball.
Nice. Yes, I remember you saying that now. Yeah, completely doing that magazine cover. But yeah, really, really good. And they are definitely Return of the Jedi Gamorrean Guards rather than Book of Boba Fett.
And do you know what a comedy that is? I did listen. I've listened to all of it, but I went back and listened to last year's show we did for the review of the year, and we spoke at length about the Rancor. I think we spoke about the Rancor enough probably over those first couple of months of last year. But the Gamorrean Guard was one of the things that they were releasing with it, and it was, it's we're going to release a card. I'm going to send you a carded Gamorrean Guard. I was like, well, you're going to release it anyways for the Empire 40th, so you got it in the end. Why not got the Rancor?
And then we move on to the Gaming Greats RC1262. RC, yes, you all know it, stands for Republic Commando, and RC1262, aka nickname Scorch. So we've got an elite clone commando, and yeah, nice looking figure for those people who know him. Really old Scorchy. Is it one which I'll be getting? No, it's not, but it's it's quite sort of Gaming Greats. It does exactly what it says on the tin. It is exactly like that. Not bad. It's not my cup of tea though.
Well, that is it for Black Series, but probably the pick of the announcements since last show, and that is the Hot Toys, Craig.
Yeah, Hot Toys have added 2 new figures to their growing Attack of the Clones 20th anniversary sub-range. In addition to Anakin and Padme, who got announced before Christmas, R2, 3PO, the Battle Droid, and there's a Clone Trooper and a Clone Pilot. They've now announced Mace Windu and a Super Battle Droid. And they both look great. I mean, they really do. I did wonder if Mace might have been based on an old Nick Fury head, because I know they do a lot of Avengers figures. But according to the write-up, it's a newly developed head sculpt. Comes with finely tailored Jedi robe, tunic, light-up lightsaber, hollow caster and a hologram of Yoda, display base, and a bonus pair of forearm armor inspired by Mace Windu's animated appearance in the Clone Wars. So it doesn't come with a massive amount, but it's a great looking figure. That's up for pre-order for $297, and the Super Battle Droid is especially nicely looking, kind of when it comes to weathering and that kind of metal effect they do really well. That's up for pre-order for $238. So not too bad really when you think about some of the bigger kind of accessory packed deluxe sets that they do.
I love them. I just love them.
What do you think of those, Pete?
I had a look. The Mace Windu is incredible. The sort of head sculpt does look incredible. No, I'm not going to purchase them though.
But 2 Incredibles. It's a promising start.
I can appreciate the art. I can appreciate the sculpts, but no.
If you were going to go down a hot toy route, what kind of film would you be looking for? Just so we know.
Probably original trilogy, I'd have thought. The Armourer I've seen, I was not from The Mandalorian. The Armourer is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Yeah, I think I'll leave it at there, actually, rather than create a short list for myself.
Non-committal.
There's a shot in the in their promo material of him leaping, and it's just beautiful. His robot flying out. It's just, I don't know if you've seen that. But that's really good.
It looks really. That's the one not on the stand, isn't it? It's just they've just taken it sort of. Taken any background out, and it just looks so good. The cloak in particular, as you say, Craig, it's it's awesome.
Yeah.
Really.
Fishing wire wrapped around the Didolf shelf, you'd be to recreate that. No bother.
But you got to say fair play to Hot Toys. You know, when we were back in the summer doing our Attack of the Clones retrospective, and with these four, the other four they released around the same time, or they put up a pre-order around the same time as we did the shows. Plus, they've done, I think, Count Dooku and Yoda from Attack of the Clones. That's 10. There's 10 Hot Toys now from Attack of the Clones, potentially. And there is a photograph online. I will dig it out for you, Craig, for the enhanced. There's a new Hot Toy store open somewhere in Hong Kong, and they've got a Attack of the Clones display, like in the arena. So you've got all of those characters in poses in the middle of the arena fighting. It looks brilliant. Yeah, they've done a good job there. The pick for me out of all of those, though, I know I think we spoke about it last month, was that Padme, and I've put my money down on that now.
Me too, Dan. Me too.
I've got a £10 a month payment plan with Toys Wonderland.
Rebel base in range.
The force is strong with this one.
This is Red 5. I'm going in.
Marked and locked in. You are part of the Rebel Alliance and a traitor.
Remember, the Force will be with you, always.
Let's go on to the 2022 review. What we're going to do is, we're not going to list everything, but I've asked each of you to have a little look. You've all been given one area each, just to give us an overview of what the year was like, what the kind of numbers were like, any standout pieces. And then I'm going to ask each of you for each section what your favourite is of that range and what your least favourite was for the year. Quite straightforward. So I'm going to come to you first, Jez, because you now are the vintage collection boy. Give us the rundown from the year.
Yes, Stu. Really excited to get amongst the vintage collection and try and learn, because I'm hoovering up information here. There's differences of opinion. There's ambiguity. You look at one website, it gives you some information. You look at another website, it gives you different. It's actually quite tricky, just, pinning it down exactly, because we've got differences here. We've got re-releases, we've got exclusives. Some things that come out in some countries, not in other countries. But suffice to say, there have been loads and loads of vintage collection, but in some respects, not enough. Because what am I not seeing? I am thirsty for more Revenge of the Sith. I am thirsty for Rebels. Where's the Rebels stuff on the vintage collection? Where's more Power of the Force bits and pieces? What about an Ewok line? We've had a droids. What about an Ewok line? And what about the Revenge of the Jedi? All right, because 40th anniversary just around the corner. Let's have a little bit of revenge. So yeah, loads and loads of stuff we're going to come on to, but they're still missing out on a few bits and pieces. But when I look at what we've had, and these include some pre-orders as well, such as the Andor, which are now starting to sort of hit the street, so to speak. But Andor got a couple, Attack of the Clones, Bad Batch had 4, Battlefront 2, 4, Book of Boba Fett, Clone Wars, Droids, Empire Strikes Back, a few more, Jedi Fallen Order, Jedi Survivor. It's nice to see some of these gaming ones come out, and I'm enjoying looking at the different logos on those as well. Really adds to the collection. Mandalorian has been the big hitter with 14 fresh ones. Obi-Wan Kenobi, as you know, big TV show of the year, and we can discuss those till the cows come home. Another Rogue One, more Star Wars, and The Force Unleashed. So yeah, hitting a lot of things, but still some main bits and pieces missing, and we haven't even started on Star Wars Visions or anything else like that for that matter. But you can look at Lucasfilm 50th anniversary, so you got the droids. We've already spoken about those. There's loads of Impact exclusives. So then, Razor Crest came out, so you got those ones. Yeah, very, very nice. And then you think back, the Bad Batch. I know there's a lot of disappointment at the moment that Bad Batch haven't given us some cool figures. Yeah, Hunter's on the way. We found out about that by looking at the reverse of the card back. But you've got the Bad Batch, and you've got the 4-pack Bad Batches as well. As I said, plenty of Lucasfilm 50th anniversary, and then you've had waves 33 through to 36, various different exclusives, be it Target and Walmart. The gaming greats have had a really good run. And all in all, mate, we can't go through them all, but it's exciting to see a lot of stuff coming out. I'm enjoying seeing these in shops, but I want to see more available.
Okay, then. So, Jez, what's your favourite? What's your favourite from the year? Actually, let's go around everyone. Favourites for the year. Jez?
Yeah. Okay, well.
Yeah.
Yeah, love it. So, favourite from the year. Funny old thing, Book of Boba Fett, Fennec Shand. And I think it's because this is tied in with when I started getting into the vintage collection. And I remember seeing that logo in HMV. And I was excited about it. And it meant such a huge thing for me to find some Star Wars in a shop and sort of peg check and make sure, oh, yeah, this one's nice and straight. This one's got a decent bubble or what have you. And as a collector, I got a buzz from that. And there was something about the logo I just thought looked a bit different. And so for me, I like the figure, I like the card art, but I think it was the experience of the purchase which I got from that. So yeah, I really, really enjoy the Book of Boba Fett.
And looking through them, your disappointment?
It's not massive disappointment. I mean, there are some. I still can't get over the Lando Calrissian being on a Battlefront 2 card. That confuses me, and I think it also confused Dave, bless him, as well, because when I was chatting to Dave Tree about this at London Film Comic Con, he's like, oh yeah, I'm just getting a load of those Landos in. And I'm like, yeah, why is it not on a solo card? Why is it on a Battlefront 2? If it was on a solo card, I'd buy it because it's solo, it's Lando from there. I don't care about Battlefront 2 as much as solo. And Dave's like, oh yeah, I didn't twig. And it just seems, does it seem a bit weird to you that Lando Calrissian, clearly from the end of Solo, it appears to me, is on a Battlefront 2 card? It just doesn't seem to make sense.
That's the natty shirt he's running around in the game, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that it? Is it?
Yeah.
Right. Attention to detail. I must be better at. Okay. Great spot. You see, of all the people on Generation Skywalker who notice a natty shirt, is gonna be Craig, because Craig's got one or two. I know. Right. Okay.
Watching Kimberly play it, so.
Right. Because I wanted that Lando on a solo card. I thought that would be awesome. So for me to say that that's my worst one of the bunch, that's actually saying quite a lot, isn't it, for the vintage collection?
Yeah, they've done well, haven't they? They've done well. So Craig, what's your standout?
I think the Dark Times Vader, we've talked about it a couple of times, haven't we? It's just the figure that they nailed at that scale. It's great.
Nice. And your disappointment?
I mean, random Mandalorians and clones always leave me a bit cold. You can point at any of them. Maybe pick one. Mandalorian Death Watch Airborne Trooper. There you go.
Oh, that's a beautiful.
Oh, is he one of your favourites, is he?
No, I haven't got that one, but I would definitely buy it if I saw it. Fair enough. Pete, your standout, do you buy vintage collection?
I do. I'm sort of quite picky with them. I've got a couple of these. I've got the droids Fett I did buy for similar reasons Dan mentioned earlier, because it does look good. The card looks really good, and the figure looked really cool. I like the colourway that came in. And I've got the Luke Light Cruiser. I've got that on pre-order on that, whenever that turns up. Well, I think I saw an actual finished figure. I think someone had them already, so whether they're about to surface, I'm not sure. But that looked pretty cool, and that's such a good scene in Mando. I thought I've got that. I thought I'd have to get that. So yeah, those two.
What about when you look through this list? What you just think? Ugh.
I think, do we really need a Migs Mayfield?
It's a great figure, Pete.
It's brilliant.
So I'm just going to jump in for 1 minute. Pete, that is my standout figure from this range for the year. And so I'm looking through this list, and I have probably bought, I reckon I've got a good third of this list, and it is by far the best one I've opened this year. And I've got all 3 droids cards, and I've got a lot of the clones off here. I've got all of Axe Woves. I've got Fennec. It it batters them all. It is brilliant. It's a brilliant, brilliant figure. So I think what you need to do is treat yourself to one and then come back next month and give us a readjustment on this.
Did they do a Migs Mayfield hot toy?
Not yet.
Not yet. Yeah.
Yeah, that just stands out. Because they've done Din Djarin in that same outfit, haven't they?
Yeah.
Yes, I've got that as well, Pete. That's a nice figure. It's not as nice as Migs. And great card backs as well. Yeah.
You get the Din Djarin in that outfit when I see it. That's around. That's available now, isn't it?
So it's your first show, so we'll let you off that you've got something wrong. Okay. Dan, your favourite?
Well, Craig's made it easy for me because I was going to go Dark Time Vader, but as he's picked that, I'm gonna go off piece and I'm going to say the Razor Crest. I love it. I still got it out of the box in front of me. It is an awesome piece, and yeah, it shouldn't go. We gave the Rancor and then the Reaver lightsaber a really hard time, but Haslev knocked it out of the park with a Razor Crest. It's awesome.
Do you know what, Dan? I've that turned up in February and it's still in the shipper, and I haven't even undone the shipper.
Pull your life out.
But it will be out before the end of January.
And my worst, I'm going to go for the Droids R2 because he hasn't got a pop-up saber, which I think's just lazy.
All three of them look nice together. I've got all three of them. And
you ain't got a pop-up lightsaber?
No. But I mean, so you just want everything exactly the same.
Yes.
But you can't.
No.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Okay.
If we pick anything you buy, Stu, is that just not off the table? Then is it? We can't give it our time. Is that how it is now?
No, because I think it's actually very nice. Have you got one?
Yeah, I got one. He's just taken a jam out of my donut properly by saying that, because I was like, I had that up against the C-3PO. I picked up the C-3PO at London Film and Comic Con, and I just said I picked it up off Dave Tree's stall. I'm like, yeah, I just wanted a Droids one in my collection. He's like, well, I got an R2 if you prefer, kind of assuming that everyone would prefer an R2 over the 3PO. I was like, yeah, mate, I'll definitely grab that. And now Dan's just slagged it off to like the third degree.
Yeah, but Jez, don't let someone like Dan, because his very aggressive manner,
yeah, he is,
put you off it, because I think they still look very nice on the card, and I think he's I don't know what's the problem with him, to be fair. Just got this kind of attitude issue. Right, okay. That is the vintage collection. So let's go over to Black Series. What a list. Bad luck, Craig.
Yeah, I have to echo Jez's sentiments with trying to just really nail down what came out last year and what was just announced and what snuck through in some territories and not others. So that's a bit of a caveat. I've leaned very heavily on mafitsu.co.uk and their database, which is pretty comprehensive. I've cross-referenced it with a couple of things, but it is interesting to see the breakdowns, to see where Hasbro are concentrating their energies, given what we know about the Star Wars output at the moment. So I've done a bit of number crunching. I'll go through it. I'll try and make it not too listy. But by my reckoning, there's been 116 releases in total. That's individual figures. So some are multi-packs, and at least 10 of those were archive re-releases. So the original trilogy got 18, 10 for A New Hope, 2 for Empire, 3 for Return of the Jedi. Prequel trilogy got 3 for Revenge of the Sith. Rogue One got 4. The sequel trilogy got 1 for Force Awakens, an archive edition of Han Solo. Mandalorian, 28, which obviously includes, carbonized versions and repaints and things like that. Book of Boba Fett got 2. Kenobi got 10. Andor got the 2-pack officially for last year. The animated show has got a total of 11, which included Droids, Clone Wars without the Clone Wars that includes and 4 for Bad Batch. 6 from the expanded universe, so that's the publishing ones, and a re-release of Darth Revan. 3 concept figures, 8 from the gaming world, from a mix of games. Galaxy's Edge, there were like 14 figures released. Some of those are kind of the little, Salacious Crumb and Minox and things, so not full figures. And then, of course, there was 6 for Christmas. So it's quite staggering, really, the amount that they've churned out.
Do we reckon they're all going to be like Dan's going to be really predictable? So I don't like the Christmas figures.
Well, let's find out.
So, Craig, you've looked at the list. What's your standout and what's your disappointment from this list?
There are some great ones. I think Saw Gerrera is
good choice.
A stunning figure. If I was to buy one, I think maybe an Obi-Wan. The Wandering Jedi, I think, is the better of the two, because I don't have anything that represents that show in the collection. And I've always been quite partial to that white Infinity's Vader. I've always thought he was quite an arresting figure. That's 3, isn't it?
It is 3, but you can have that. What about a disappointment?
Black Chrysanthemum.
I think that might pop up a lot in the next
It might.
5
I'll
minutes.
get away with stuff like that.
Yeah. I'll throw my hat straight in the ring there. I'm with you. He's, to me, by far the worst of the lot here, for reasons we spoke about back on the show. Pete, what about yourself? What have you tickled your fancy? Do you buy Black Series?
I don't. I bought a few Mando bits, but I'm in the process of selling them. I bought the Armourer. I actually bought that off you, Dan, which I'm still trying to sell. But I've been trying to sell that for ages, but I might actually keep it now. So a little bit. I don't. Yeah, going forward, I bought the Tauntaun. Was it the Wampa they did, and that I sort of really liked that, but it came in the packaging was just really shiny. It was really weird packaging.
I'll get it out. I've got mine out, and it's raging. And I even took it indoors and made out to my wife that it was a Christmas decoration this year. And it did knock around my living room for the whole of Christmas. And she was like, I don't really see. I was like, because he lives in snow.
Yeah, it's just, but whatever the treatment they did on the packaging is weird. If they'd just done that as a regular finish, it would have worked. But no, so that went. So yeah, not really feeling the Black Series. But looking through the list, the favourite is probably the Leia Yavin with the Power of the Force 2 card back. That looks very nice.
Yeah, I like that.
And it's with that Lucasfilm 50th anniversary logo is superb, and it's nice and big on there. So that's probably my favourite. Can't make my mind up on the George Lucas Stormtrooper disguise. I'm kind of either hate it or I really like it. I keep seeing it for Forbidden Planet, and I'm just not sure on that. Worst has got to be carbonized Shore Trooper. Really? Do we need that in our lives? I think carbonized in general is just another kind of way to churn these out, and that just doesn't work on that. It just looks really old. So I think that's probably my worst one out of that.
Interesting. Yeah, there's not. We've. I think Jez is the only one that's a carbonized fan in here. Daniel, your favourite, your standout?
I would have gone the Saw Gerrera. Bought that the other day out of Smith's for 15 quid. Brilliant. But I will always go for the Dark Trooper. Harrison got that a few weeks back as a treat for his doing one on his parents' evening. We opened it in our car and done a live Instagram unboxing. I was really impressed with that. Great figure.
You want to get the hot toy of it. That's a beast as well. Really nice. What about your worst?
I'm going to go with, it would be predictable, wouldn't it, to go with a Christmas figure or a Halloween figure or something like that. I'm going to pick out the Grogu they released in a box for 20 as a full price figure, whereas a couple of Christmases ago you could get it in a mini box for a tenner. So I'm going to do that as a bit of a cash grab. It came with his little hover pram and a few other bits and pieces, and they wanted 26 quid for it. I'm like, you're crazy. So yeah, I'm going to pick that out.
They charged full price for that, did they?
Yeah. And bearing in mind, a couple of years ago, you could get the Mandalorian and the Grogu and the Pram in a box. I think it was a deluxe set for like 30 quid in Smith's and exclusives for them a couple of Christmases ago. And then it switched to the figure on its own without the Mandalorian for near enough the same price.
Yeah, not good. Okay. Jez, your standout?
Right. I'm not going to go for the standout, first of all. I'm going to go for my least favourite because it's important, right? You said, I'm not going to go for the obvious and stuff. I am going to go for a Halloween holiday edition because it's just the most worst thing I've seen. I'm looking at the images online and it looks like a really terrible fancy dress. And believe me, I've done terrible fancy dress. This is absolutely ridiculous. Disney seems to be all over their sort of intellectual property rights of no, we can't do this and we can't do this, and we need to protect the characters from this and we need to protect the characters from that, and we've got trademarks on this. Where is this in canon? This is absolutely ridiculous. Now, I'm all for the Christmas stuff, loving the Christmas stuff, love the Advent calendar, and I'm all up for for Jingle Bells and everything. But this, quite frankly, just is absolutely ridiculous on toast. And then comes with a Jabba ghost inspired ghost themed trunk with some Beskar, which is meant to look like chocolate. Have a word of yourself. Is this done by someone who is just working at Hasbro on some sort of YTS youth training scheme, job swap, school, like let's have a little look, day in the life of Hasbro, let's throw some ideas at a wall? This is nuts. This is people on crack, and it just doesn't make any sense. It looks crap. Not only is it silly, it looks crap. Clone Troopers.
No, what, the Halloween ones? No, not for me.
I can't get over it, how ridiculous it looks. And it's just because Disney and because Lucasfilm, they do protect their figures and they do protect their property rights. When Crystal Art Buddies contacted them and said, oh, can we do a special, limited edition running Stormtrooper thing for charity for this and the other? No, can't do that. However, you can do a Halloween holiday inspired, absolutely abhorrent image. It just looks crap. It lowers the value of Star Wars for me.
Yeah, and your positive one?
And I got two positive ones actually to right that wrong. I do really like the Rogue One Stormtrooper Jedi Patrol.
Yeah, nice.
Don't know if you've seen that. I just think it looks really, really smart. I like it a lot. But also, just moving away from the single figure, you've got the Black Series 6-inch droid depot toy, which has got a selection of droids, but I was sold because it had a Babu Frick. So to get a Black Series Babu Frick with a battle droid and a few other droids who you wouldn't know their name if they were written down on a napkin in front of you, the Babu Frick is kind of a cool one for me. So that's just nice. It's a Disney Parks exclusive. But Stormtrooper Jedi Patrol looks the business. That Halloween thing, I've just got to shut my computer down now because it just offends me. Don't put it on Instagram, it's rubbish.
Right, okay.
What about you? Again, we're going through these lists and you're not saying what your favourite is.
Well, to be fair, Jez, I like all. I think with the Black Series, any of the Christmas ones are fun for Christmas.
Yeah.
Don't let someone who's a humbug say they're not. They're good fun, but that's not my favourite. So there's a few actually. Saw Gerrera is amazing. It's already been mentioned a couple of times, but the figurine down ones are quite good fun. There's a couple of different instruments in there. Dead Bee was good fun. Darth Revan was nice, but Leia Bouche on the anniversary card is lovely. Is it an anniversary card? Yeah, it was the Lucas anniversary, wasn't it? I believe. Let me just check that before I carry on.
While he's waiting, Craig, what did you think about that Halloween one? I just want to know what you think. It's important to me.
I think there's something about the smaller ones when they do the 3 3/4 with the droids and they do the colourways that work a little bit better for Halloween. The pumpkins and the candy corn and all that kind of stuff. I think with Black Series, it's just too much to them. They're not great. They don't get me angry.
Oh, I'm not angry. I mean, don't get me wrong. This is me on a 4, but
yeah, they're not something I would entertain.
Leia Bouche on the Return of the Jedi, the archive packaging. I mean, that figure's nice. Anything Boushy, or as Jez said on the Old Fossils, Bosch, which I've never heard.
No, I didn't say it was Bosch. Some people pronounce it as Bausch, and it's not. It's Bouche. It's Bouche.
Yeah, it's definitely
only
Bouche.
ever been Bouche. Check the Rainbow Read-Along cassettes. It's Bouche. Bausch. Have a word of yourself.
Yeah, well, there you go. And for me, Black Chrysanthemum was horrendous. Pete just brought up the carbonised. The carbonised Paz Vizsla for me was the worst of the carbonised as well. So, yeah, all in agreement there. So, we're going to go on. We're moving on. I'm moving over to Daniel because he's going to sell this so much that Pete will be like, I really need a hot toy. Daniel, hot toys.
I can't wait to see what everyone's going to pick out as their worst. This will be interesting.
Oh, yeah.
So we're looking at 24 Hot Toys that were released last year. There was actually a 25th, which was the quarter scale Mando when I look back as well. So there is one more that isn't on the list we're looking at, but we'll stick with a 1/6 scale. So out of those, there were 13 Mandalorian figures, 1 Rogue One, 3 Clone Wars, 1 Attack of the Clones, which is Django, who we missed out when we were talking about Attack of the Clones earlier. So that's another Attack of the Clones figure they've released. The Luke Skywalker Snowspeeder pilot from Empire Strikes Back, a Return of the Jedi, 1 from Bad Batch, and 4 exclusives. Obviously very Mando heavy. A lot of those were announced back in probably spring 2021, so we're about a year and a bit out to get those to start coming through. So first out the gates was the Boba Fett twin pack, and then we moved on through the year and we saw the likes of Moff Gideon, the Clone Wars Darth Maul, the Clone Wars Ahsoka Tano, which Stuart got for Christmas. Then in the middle of the year we got the Luke Snowspeeder, and then we got some summer exclusives. So there was the Black Boba Fett, and there were 3 chromed troopers. So we got a chrome Stormtrooper, a chrome Death Trooper, and a clone trooper as well that were kind of tied into the Comic-Con exclusive seasons and toy fairs. So they were only available in certain markets and quite tough to get. And then closed out the year, we've seen the Quill and the Blurg finally come out, so that they're both really impressive. And we finally got released in the last few weeks the Mandalorian in his sparkly Season 2 armor and Grogu. So a real, nice mix of figures there, very heavily leaning towards Mandalorian though still. I suppose it's just the time frame that they were announced in.
They do look good, don't they, Dan? What's your standout for the year?
For the year, it's a toss-up for me between that Boba Fett 2-pack and the Luke Skywalker Snowspeeder. But they're both, I'm looking at them both now. The Luke Snowspeeder, just because of that orange, really pops against the other figures that I've got, and I'm going to have to go with that. It's really great.
Yeah, it makes a change from a grey or a black, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And what not so much a disappointment, but it's difficult to say a disappointment in Hot Toys. So let's go with which one would you least buy? Which one would be the last one on that list you would go to?
Probably the Chrome Death Trooper.
Mental. That's a mental decision. Right, Jez?
I'm with Dan. Yes, Dan, you're right. Snowspeeder Luke is Luke X-Wing, Luke Snowspeeder. It is an amazing looking one. That is the one I was the closest to getting that. So I'm going to go with you on that one. And I'm also going to say for me, it was the Chrome Trooper. I don't like the Chrome Stormtrooper. So that's one for the Death Trooper, but also one for the Chrome Stormtrooper. It's just like, what's the point?
Great.
Yeah, I mean, when you're looking at Hot Toys, you're looking at movie accuracy. So these Chrome ones just don't work. They're something else entirely. So if we've had a strike against the Stormtrooper, the Death Trooper, I'll put a strike against the Clone Trooper. Absolute standout speed bike.
Really? Nice.
Yeah.
And the Trooper.
Gorgeous.
That would look amazing.
Well, why do you buy it then?
I have to move things around.
That's fine. You've got to dust anyway.
I do have some dusting to do.
Yeah, nice choice. Pete, then. So looking at these Hot Toys, Pete, if you were going to buy one right now off this list, some goodies in there. What are you going with?
Yeah, off the list, probably I think a Dark Trooper is at the top of my list.
Nice.
That looks pretty good. They got their likeness bang on. And it's, I imagine that's quite a wedge of a piece, isn't it? So yeah, that's certainly my favourite. Speeder bike is cool. Obviously that's going to be enormous. But the Mandalorian and Blurg as well, I imagine that's quite a piece.
Oh yeah, can you imagine getting him and Quill on Blurgs? Oh, beautiful shelf that would be. Oh,
so I think they're probably top of my list.
Unbelievable.
My least favourite, it's got to be the Anakin Clone Wars, I think.
Anakin Clone Wars.
Oh no.
I looked at it and thought, God, it's like looking in the mirror at my lockdown hair. It just looked terrible.
You're lucky, Pete, because I have Anakin, but I've got him on the stap. But I haven't opened it yet, so I can't actually defend him because he's still sitting in a box. But I think you're mental, personally.
Nice hair. Do you not know yet?
He's still in the shipper, mate. I haven't got that far. But, yeah.
He's also mental for the Blurg. I think it's ridiculous.
Oh, it's not, Jez. I mean, what's wrong with the Blurg?
It's just a big lump of Blurg. I mean, it's a great name for what it is. I think it's because, for me, buying a Hot Toy, that investment, it needs to be iconic. Sort of me, OT, I guess I get totally why Craig got the Leia. And then, Craig's got the Darth Vader, because these are key major figures. Who on earth would just want a Blurg? Unless they've got lots of these figures because they just need it to complete a set. But it surprises me when Pete, who doesn't have any Hot Toys, chooses the Blurg. It is, his standout one.
I like it. I haven't got one, and I'm getting a bit of envy of people who have...
But you've got 50 Hot Toys.
I've got 12. I've got 12.
You needed to finish a run, Dan.
Well, hey, look, if you could get... Because I've got IG-11, I've got the Mandalorian, I've got, various others coming, but to have that kind of sat at the back, because Quill's a little tiny figure, but to have him on something like that in a display, I think would look quite good.
I think it'd look amazing as well. I'm with you, Dan.
Have you ordered a Blurg? Have you got one?
No, but I've also seen, because it's topical on the groups at the moment.
Yeah.
I keep looking at it thinking, I really do like that. And I've got a lot of Mandalorian Hot Toys.
Yeah.
So when I do get them all out and set up, I do think to myself that there's a great big... I love Quill as a character. He reminds me a lot of Pete, actually, with him being here. And the Blurg, which reminds me a lot of Jez. It'd kind of be like Jez giving Pete a piggyback in my bed, in my room.
Happy to.
Yeah, I think you're crazy slagging off the blurg.
Not slagging him off, just saying he's not welcome.
It's underrepresented, isn't it, the blurg? Why haven't they done a vintage collection blurg or Black Series blurg? Or have they?
Not yet.
No.
I think there's a nice sideshow statue of one, Pete. There's definitely more blurg stuff.
Was it Battle for Endor they were in? Or was it
Yes.
Caravan of Courage?
Oh, I don't know. It was one of the Ewok movies.
Yeah. You want that version?
Obviously, there is the one for Craig. I'm surprised you haven't got this because I know you are now a massive, massive fan of Funkos. It's one way of getting a blurg. How can you say that's not fun, Jez? I can't. I feel really sorry. I can't believe. If I say I feel sorry for you, I don't mean that. I can't believe you don't think that is a lovely.
It's when I look at it, and I have to look at these as a family man, as someone who has to budget, as someone who has to look at, right, I've got this for my gas, I've got this for my electric, I've got this for my food, I've got this for my insurance, I've got this for my house, I've got this for kids and stuff, I've got this for copious amounts of red wine. And what I don't have is a spare load of cash for a
payment plans, Jez. Payment plans.
But that also doesn't mean you have to hate it.
I'm not hating it. This isn't a hate. This is like a 2. But all I'm saying is it's just a bit blur. It's not top of the pot. It's not flicking the switch. It's not Luke X-wing snowspeeder. It's not the it's just not great. So therefore, it's not a biker scout on a speeder bike.
It ain't that.
It's just blur.
Tadpole with legs.
That's it, Craig. Me and you today, brother from another mother, man.
You know what? I'm hovering. I've got my mouse hovering over the quill and the blurg. It's only the fact that it's
quivering over quill.
465 quid that I haven't clicked it.
So that's my point, But do it. Prove me wrong. Do it. Live purchase. We haven't had one for a while. Do it.
I mean, to go nicely with the Mandalorian. You wouldn't want it on its own, but given some of the figures you've got already,
I've already got a Mando. It'd have to be a quill on the back.
Exactly, and then you've got height. You arrange things in 3s. You arrange plant pots in 3s. You've got that. You've got your IG-11.
I've never arranged 3 plant pots in a row.
Oh, that's where you've been going wrong.
And don't do it because it wouldn't work, because you would need to have the Razor Crest in the background. I know it's a different scale, but you haven't got a Razor Crest, so.
I have got a Razor Crest. I've got the vintage.
I know. Yeah. Trying to do like some sort of reverse
I shouldn't be on this
warfare.
site. Do you know what? I'm hovering over loads of them. I'm going to close down because it wouldn't be the first time we've been sitting here chatting.
This is a question then for you, Stuart. So we're going to talk about what you bought. So this list was kind of at the height of when we were in like Mandalorian fever and all of the Hot Toys were coming out. How many of these out of this list have you actually got?
Not as many as you think. Is the Mando and Grogu the one I've got with him flying that Jez unboxed for me?
No,
because that annoys me. They just keep releasing the same crap. Not crap, obviously. I've got the 2-pack Boba Fett, which is still in a box. I've got Ahsoka Tano.
Got the Anakin.
I've got Anakin with the stab. I've got Moff Gideon, which I unboxed, which is amazing, because that was one I nearly cancelled. And actually, when it arrived, he's amazing. His face sculpt is unbelievable. I've got Luke Skywalker Snowspeeder. That's still in a box somewhere. I've got the Dark Trooper, which is probably, from what I've opened, is my standout. I mean, that figure is incredible. Pete was a really good choice, and I really do recommend it because it is amazing. I think that's it off that list.
Bo-Katan?
Oh, Bo-Katan as well, yeah.
So you've bought 7 out of the 24. So nearly a quarter of them.
What else have I got under my other stuff that's arrived this year, which isn't on there? Things like Lando, I haven't had under my desk for over a year, have I?
Yeah, you have.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I've got Lando under there. I've got Shore Trooper. I've got a Biker Scout.
What you've got to remember is Hot Toys will release. It doesn't. Sideshow don't tend to get them until 3 to 4 months after Hong Kong. So you'll have some that would have kind of there'll be a bit of a wiggle room there.
I mean, I've just pulled out the Biker Scout, and then this one isn't in a shipper, but I've not actually had it out. But it's amazing.
You got a Biker Scout.
You've not had the. You're buying these things, and you're not even getting them out.
It's the Biker Scout from
Mando.
Mando, yeah. So he's a little bit chubbier, isn't he? Yeah, you're right, Jez, but that's only because the room's not ready. There's no point me unboxing them and just having them laying around.
Sounds like you need to like Star Wars more.
You want to like blurgs more.
I really don't.
What's the favourite then, Stu? Out of what you have opened?
from this year when I've only opened Moff Gideon and Dark Trooper. This year, Dark Trooper. Moff Gideon is brilliant as well, but the Dark Trooper is amazing.
And what's the worst? What's the worst out of that list?
I mean, probably is Mando and Grogu. If there's just another one again, I mean, they've just got to stop with the repaints. Give me more figures.
It's a chromed version, so he's all he's proper. I mean, the other ones are fairly shiny, but these ones are proper chromed armor.
I mean, those chrome things don't do it for me either. I wouldn't buy one. So I was just surprised at the hate. But
it's the hate. You said, what one would you least likely buy?
I'm having a look at it. It's that Clone Trooper chrome version is the worst. That is hideous. Yeah, that isn't good, is it?
Actually, that blood looks alright, doesn't it? No, it doesn't. Looks like a fish. As Craig said, with tadpole legs. It's awful. Anyway.
So Hot Toys, there's no way you're going to get away with that, Pete. But I know something that you are into, Pete, and that is Lego. And there's quite a lot of it. I know. What I will say to you all boys is I have put all the magazine ones on here as well. Please do not choose them as the worst. They're a bit of fun with a magazine. My lad sometimes says I can understand that because of the thing on the front. They're great little sets for kids who are Lego fans. So let's use a bit of common sense here.
Yeah, they are good presents, aren't they? Yeah, I didn't sort of look at them, but I counted through it. I think it's 30 releases, including the poly bags, which I guess would come with exclusive, don't they? Or if you spend a certain amount of money. So, and then 11 magazine sets. Yeah, so quite a good release. I think they've crossed most of the movies as well. Most of the properties are in there. Quite a bit of original trilogy. They got new TV shows, Bad Batch in there as well, even some prequel items as well. But I think with Lego, just looking at it, I don't buy that much of it, but I always keep an eye on it. And there never seems to be anything that's bad. And whenever I go in the stores, I always kind of think everything is so smart. They've got their act together so well. And not just on Star Wars, just on every sort of property they sort of have the rights to. And even the sort of Lord of the Rings in there the other day, it just looks stunning. So, yeah, it's good. But a few standouts from the year. As I said, the Last Family Homestead, I've got that. I do like that. It's pretty cool. What else is good? The Dark Trooper attack from season 2 of The Mandalorian. That's pretty good. The Dark Trooper, you get 3 of the Dark Troopers with that one, which is pretty cool. And the Land Speeder Ultimate Collector Series coming in at 210, which I think for Ultimate Collector Series seems pretty reasonable. Got just under 2,000 pieces with that. It comes with a Luke and a remodeled 3PO. It's pretty accurate as well. And the Razor Crest, I think, is the top of the pile they've done, which is coming in. I think it's about 600 quid, which is pretty major, but a whopping 6,187 pieces. So I think that'll keep me busy to Easter if I ever got one of those. But it looks superb. What else are they doing? These sort of dioramas. Is it the first time they've done those? I think it is. I don't think I've ever seen those before.
Yeah, they're nice, aren't they?
Yeah, they're really good. If it wasn't raining on, when did I go in there? Yesterday, I think I would have picked up the trash compactor. That looks fantastic. I think a few celebrations ago they did a Luke and Han Stormtrooper disguise, which looked really good. So they've kind of got those figures gone back in there, but you get the Chewie and the Leia as well. I think R2 and C3PO are in that set as well, so they look good. It's weird the selection they've done on those two, like 2 Death Star related and the Dagobah set. So I guess they're probably going to go Jedi heavy this year if they keep going with those. But yeah, there's a lot of good stuff. The helmets, they continue with those. They're obviously working. Collectors are obviously picking up with those. You've got the Luke Skywalker, Mandalorian, and Dark Trooper coming this year. I think they've already done. I think they'll be able to bring them up to about 8 that they've done on those. The Dark Trooper looks weird. I don't know why. It kind of looks like a dog. The head on that. It just looks odd for some reason.
I'm with you on that. I quite like the helmets. I think I've got Vader, Stormtrooper, Fett, possibly Luke, but I wouldn't buy the Dark Trooper. It doesn't sit right, does it?
Yeah, it just seems a bit too rounded, or I'm not sure. It just doesn't look quite right. But the others look really cool. Like the TIE Pilot looks really good, and the Luke Skywalker helmet looks pretty good. One for you there, Jez. But no, but Lego was just in general. They just seem to have it so sewn up. They just know what they're doing, and that store and been to the refurbished top floor in there, and it was just heaving, absolutely heaving. London was pretty empty yesterday, but everyone was in there, so it's good. I think I'll make some purchases on the Lego side this year.
Nice. So, what's your standout and what's your...
My standout is probably the land speeder. It does look really cool, and I love they've got it really right. The dimensions, they've got it perfect. It looks good, and I think it's really detailed as well under what you see. I think there's a lot going on. But the worst one, let's see. I think there's the is it the Vader versus Kenobi? That looks pretty rushed together. Not much going on with that set.
Dan's got that.
Yeah, it just seems a bit. How much notice they got on that, I don't know, but it just looks. I don't know. Could have tried a bit harder with that one.
It's down as my worst as well, to be honest with you. I think in retrospect, in terms of all the sets that I live vicariously Lego through Harrison, and he's got a lot of these big sets this year, and that I would say is probably the worst one. Just from you can't really display it, so it doesn't really work as a display piece, and playability for kids is just a bit. You knock a pin over and some orange coloured flame effect blocks go across the floor, and that's about it. And you just end up playing with the minifigures. So yeah, as I say, it's a bit crap. And
for such an epic kind of combination, they could have been much better. Like the brickheads look really good on those two. I think they did those two as brickheads, which work. But that set just seemed weak.
Yeah. Okay. Jez, I don't think you've dabbled in Lego yet.
I've got some little bits. I just want to go back to, and I'm sure some of our listeners would as well. Anyone else got issues shopping with meteorological conditions? Because Pete said, I would have bought this if it wasn't raining. I mean, come on. They do polythene bags, don't they? They do.
I know, but I was walking. I was in a train strike and I had to get home. I was in London, so I just thought I was using it. That's my excuse. I will
right. Lego.com. You get your VIP points.
It just took me out of the moment slightly when you said the reason you didn't buy it is because it was raining, and I was just like, what? Hang on a second. I'm sure there are others who picked that up. Just gone. Hang on a second.
No, I only buy Star Wars toys when it's sunny.
Right. Okay. I do love Lego. I think Lego is awesome, and I think my most enjoyable piece this year has been the Lego Advent Calendar. Absolutely loved it. Massive shout out to that Lego Advent Calendar, and Dan did an amazing job on Instagram showing that off with Harrison each and every day.
That was Funko, mate.
Damn it! Because they're the same size, aren't they? Anyway, I love a bit of Lego. Yeah, you can leave that in because you're that kind of guy. I do like the Lego. The Lego appeals to me a lot. There's been some great stuff. The dioramas I love. I can't make up my mind between the Death Star trench run and the Death Star trash compactor. I love both of those. I think they're great. I think the BD1 is really quite sweet. A couple of things I don't like. I think the Obi-Wan Kenobi Jedi Starfighter just is a bit blur. But I think I'm just bored with stuff like the Snowtrooper Battle Pack. That's been done to death, and it's not brought anything new to the party. It's just some more Snowtroopers and a couple of more sort of, ground weapon systems. It's just a bit dull, really. I don't know why they keep on redoing these. So yeah, Snowtrooper Battle Pack is a bit dull. But I think if I had to, Death Star Trash Compactor, it's just fun. It's a lot of money for fun, but it's a good bit of fun.
Craig, I know you love a bit of
Lego.
The word.
Stay on target. Do you know what? This Christmas has seen me finish the Death Star.
Free.
Do you know what a lovely experience it was to put that together over a series of months? I didn't rush it. I mean, and in a way, it's lots of those little dioramas in one. And I think I'm drawn to that. I think I'm drawn to those little scenes, those little interactive vignettes more than the ships and the kind of big things that you build and you put to one side. So, I think what they've done with these new dioramas is next level compared to what they did with the Death Star. Obviously, they're working with slightly bigger scale, but there's a real quality to the way that the organic elements of Dagobah sit. That sinuous root system of Yoda's house and things. So they stand out for me as being quite creative against a lot of the other stuff. So I would probably go maybe with that Dagobah set. I think it's quite stunning, and the way it sort of sits in this little tray, and there's a little kind of sign there. I know they do a lot of that with the UCS ones, but kind of it marks it as something visitors to the house can, read the little label and understand what it is. I think they're nice objects.
Yeah, good choices. What about your least favourite on here?
I think we talked about that Dark Trooper helmet when it came up. It's just off compared to the others. I think we've discussed. If I'm being absolutely honest, I've got more of an affinity with the ships that have got that classic outline. So like the Razor Crest and the N1 Starfighter. When you get into these tanks, wasn't there an Andor one? It's like a blocky little tanky looking ship. They just don't have the same appeal. So I would steer away from those things more than the others because they just don't have that iconic shape. But there's no bad Lego.
There's no bad Lego. I'm with you on that. I'm with you. Dan, then, I know you just said you buy a lot of this. Hit me with what your greatest was.
I think from a playability point of view, that AT-TE Walker Harrison built over Christmas is quite impressive. Comes with a ton of minifigs. I think you get 4 or 5 clone troopers. You get some battle droids with it and a little spider robot. It's fully loaded with guns. You can open the back up. You can open the cockpit up. It's got all kinds of little hidden features on it. It was a great set. I think that's probably an underrated one. I know they've done that set in the past, and this is kind of a retread of that. But I think it's a lot of money, right? It's 120 quid. But if you can get it on a discount, I think it's one that you should definitely add to your collection. I think for me personally, is kind of I kind of go for the helmets and the display pieces. I think these dioramas are great, and I think I said when we did the show a few months back, Jez, me and you were on, and we were talking about these with Dave. The Death Star trench run, I think brilliant.
Yeah.
I'll stick with that for this year, I think. And in terms of my worst, just echo what everyone else said. That Dark Trooper helmet, I've got pretty much all of the helmets up till now, minus I missed out on the TIE Fighter pilot one, but I've got no desire to go after this Dark Trooper one. I think I'll let that one slide. And that Obi-Wan Kenobi versus Darth Vader set, I think, is a bit of a myth.
Yeah, there's not a lot to it, is there?
No, it's just a board really to put your figures on. It's a flat piece.
I'm with you. I would have gone for that as well. I would have gone with the Land Speeder. I bought the Millennium Falcon UCS set during COVID, and I've got it. It's to the right of me now, and I'm kind of using it as a table to the box. I haven't started building it yet, but it's just such a daunting thing to go and do. You've got to invest some time in it, haven't you? But that Land Speeder looks nice. But love me a bit of Lego.
That packaging as well looks so good. The black kind of outlook background with the more sort of understated. I guess they started with that architecture range, didn't they? Which always looked great, and they do it with all those sort of adult interest sort of pieces they put out.
$210 is quite a good price for that, isn't it? Really, when you look at the price of Lego, it's those dioramas. I love them, and I've just found a £50 gift voucher for Lego, so I may well grab one of them tomorrow. Yeah.
Depending on the weather for the week, I might get involved as well.
I think it's maybe wet, Pete.
I'll have to wait then until next week.
X-Wing fighter, X-Wing fighter. I'm never afraid with my X-Wing fighter. X-Wing fighter, X-Wing fighter. I'm saving the day with my X-Wing fighter. I can take it up, I can take it down. I can do a side roll, zip it all around. I can do anything. I can do anything. I can take it up, I can take it down. I can reach the stars and I'll bring it to the ground. I can do anything. I can do anything. Yeah, I got a plane in the shape of a letter. It could have been a Y, but I like the X better. The top's got a spot where I keep my sidekick, so he can help me out when the going gets thick. Oh, are you there? I've been trying to reach you. BB-8, listen up, there's a message coming through. Chewbacca needs a band-aid, he's tripped and hurt his toe. You know we're on our way, come on, we gotta go. I can take it up, I can take it down. I can do a side roll, zip it all around. I can do anything. I can do anything. I can take it up, I can take it down. I can reach the stars and I'll bring it to the ground. I can do anything. I can do anything. X-Wing fighter, I'm never jump in my seat and then I start the ignition. There's trouble out there, but I'm the guy for the job. Me and my squad, yeah, you know we won't stop.
Help, I need help. I can't find my lightsaber.
I feel like I saw it, but I can't remember where.
Can you please come help me look? I really, really need it.
I'm headed your way, we won't stop looking till we see it. I can take it up, I can take it down. I can do a solid roll, zip it all around. I can do anything. I can do anything. I can take it up, I can take it down. I can reach the stars and I'll bring it to the ground. I can do anything. I can do anything.
X-Wing fighter, X-Wing fighter. I'm never afraid with my X-Wing fighter. X-Wing fighter, X-Wing fighter. I'm saving the day with my X-Wing fighter.
So 2023 is upon us. We've got so much TV coming from Star Wars. Bad Batch started this week. You've got Ahsoka, The Acolyte. We've got Mando 3. We've got Skeleton Crew. What else we got this year?
Star Wars Celebration and some secrets being announced.
Well, I think we were talking about TV.
Yeah, but some secrets being announced.
Second series of Vision starts in the spring. You'll be pleased to know.
I never got past episode 2 of it. Was there anyone that was really invested in Visions in it? Jez, you often bring it up.
Each and every day.
Right, Jez, sorry for interrupting you. Celebration, you think that we're going to have some big announcements, but do you think that'll be for this year?
No, not necessarily for this year, but I think, when Rogue One was in 2016, Star Wars Celebration London 2016, there was this sort of sneak peek, quick teaser for Rogue One, which was a bit of a concept trailer, really. You never know. I think we might see a couple of things at Star Wars Celebration because it's a bit slim pickings from a cinema point of view, from a film point of view at the moment. So I'm hoping that we might get a couple of surprises. That would be good.
Are all of those series coming this year? Is Skeleton Crew and Acolyte this year?
Yeah, it's a busy year. Very exciting. I'm excited for all of it. What's everyone excited most about, TV-wise, that we know?
Just because of familiarity, and we know how good the last two series has been, Mando. But I think I've got high hopes for Acolyte if it's what I think it is.
Nice, Pete.
Yeah, similar. I think Mandalorian 3 will be incredible. That trailer, I remember seeing that. That looks good. It's they know where they're going with that, don't they? So I think it's a no-brainer. And yeah, Acolyte, it's totally different, isn't it? So that should be interesting.
The Ahsoka series it's going to be interesting as well. There's loads of rumours swirling about that at the minute, and that could be something special.
Jez, I take it Visions too?
Yeah, definitely. Electric Boogaloo. That was all right. We need to chat about Visions. Tales of the Jedi. That was all right. Some of it. Visions not really floating my boat.
Yeah, interesting.
Acolyte and Skeleton Crew.
What are you most looking forward to, Jez? I was about to just move on from you then.
I'm up for Acolyte and Skeleton Crew, definitely. Ahsoka, I kind of feel like I know that a little bit, but it's just the intrigue of Acolyte and Skeleton Crew, which I think, broadened my mind a little bit more than. I mean, I'll watch Ahsoka for sure, but come on, pass the ball. Let's have a little look at something else.
Indeed, and Craig?
Yeah, sitting at this side of it, Mandalorian. It's a known quantity. We're all invested. They're in their groove. It's going to be richer. It's going to be deeper. And I'm going to enjoy that. Hot toys. All the hot toys. The blurgs will be back, but this time they're going to fly. But I've massively open mind to all this stuff. I watch everything with interest because the TV format gives them an opportunity to take some left turns and do something interesting. So hopefully they will do that. I mean, some of the Marvel output, it's been hit and miss with the fans, but they've been brave. They've done some interesting stuff. So fingers crossed it's all going to be worthy of our time.
And we've also got so many events. Now, we'll get on to Celebration in a minute, but we've got an Echo Live on the 4th of February. Farthest From's coming. I know there is plans in place at the moment that are being put together. London Film and Comic Con. It's my understanding there will be a Star Wars zone again in the summer one. You've got MCM, you've got Toy Fairs. But we have got Celebration on our shores in London. That's going to be great, isn't it, boys? Generation Skywalker will be at Celebration in some sort of form. We don't know quite how invested we will be as this point, but we will definitely be making plans, and we've already got some good swag ideas going on, haven't we? I think one of those is very fitting of the year.
We've got some good swag. We've got plans. I think it's a bit too early to say, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the problem, isn't it? Nothing's confirmed, so we will leave it at that. Yeah, be sure to come and find us because we will be there drinking. I mean, Jez, me and you, we're going to be heading over to the O2 on Sunday night for the Cantina Bash.
I'm looking forward to that. It's a really good lineup. Cantina 2 is going to be great.
But anybody who's fancying that, the Cantina 2 on Sunday night of Celebration, Ash are headlining it, massive Star Wars fans. Their first album, 1977, named after the year Star Wars released. So that'll be a good laugh. And Darth Elvis' last ever performance. He is retiring. Yeah.
Is he hanging up the gold lame cape, is he?
He is, yeah. It's going to be his last performance. I think he's starting up Darth Bowie in 2024. So something.
Go where the money is.
A bit more up to date. Also, literature for 2023. If everyone's as invested as all us lot, we'll all be reading probably one book. Craig, you're our literature buff, though.
Well,
what's coming?
It's relative, isn't it? You say buff. I mean, what's coming? I don't know. I've lost a bit of track, to be honest. I mean, the new canon I've really tried with. It's left me a bit cold. I've kind of felt like it's been a bit of a chore at times. I finished Shadow of the Sith this year, which was good for filling in those Rise of Skywalker gaps. And I think when a standalone comes along like that, it's worthy of your time. But you know, I'm hoping, and if the things I'm reading are correct, that the Acolyte will start to bring some of the High Republic books into the fore a little bit. I think that's where it's heading. So I'm kind of hoping that's where that will pull me back in to literature next year.
And what about modern toys, boys? What are we all looking at in 2023?
I'm going to take a closer look at the Endor bunker. I know we spoke about that on the last show, but you know my little side focus with the pallets and the prop flooring. Well, there's the little entryway into the bunker uses some of that stuff, and I've been taking a closer look at some of the photos. So I'm quite interested in that. Maybe that might be a modern purchase next year.
Nice. Yeah, it'd be nice to have one of those open.
Oh, well, what have I got pre-ordered? I've got Cad Bane, I've got the Luke Besbin, and hopefully in the next couple of months, I'm going to get that Luke from Mandalorian that I pre-ordered in August 2021. So I'll beating you on this one, Jez, with your Luke X-Wing bust. Still waiting for that one, but hopefully it's I think they're starting to catch up with themselves now, so it should be out soon. I'm still weighing up whether to get the Vader from Obi-Wan. I'm still toying with that one. And
why wouldn't you?
Just because I've got so many on pre-order.
But that Darth Vader's really lovely with the cracked helmet and stuff.
I know it is, but I've already got a Vader. I keep saying, but I still want it. So
you've been invested in Darth Vader this year. So why? I mean, that's a really baffling.
I will.
Decision.
I think I will get it. I'll just wait until I've paid a few more. The other ones I've got. So it's coming, and I thought it would be great to see HasLab come back with a really great new entry that people can get behind, and we get away from the Rancor and the Reaver lightsaber, and just do the M1 Starfighter Black Series scale for Mandalorian, and everyone will get behind it. I think it's really easy.
Something that someone really wants, like a HasLab blurg.
Yeah.
They might do a 40th anniversary Return of the Jedi one. I mean, can you imagine the shuttle Tidarian, Imperial shuttle?
That'd be a million times though. Just do something original. When it's something original, that's the problem. They keep going back to the well, and the good thing about the Katana was no one had ever done that before.
Yeah, true.
Razor Crest never done before. People fell over themselves for it. They just need something iconic. And I'm not saying Shuttle Tidarium is, but just saying that no one's got in their collections already, because who go, I already got that 5 years ago, I don't need it again. Just get the same name you had before.
You say that, but I would be all over a Sandcrawler, because the tie-in droids they could do that you've not had before would be brilliant.
Yeah, I think it's there for the taking. I think they just need to get their act together. And I think it'd be great if Lego did a big set, another Death Star, maybe a Lego Death Star 2 Lego, or another big set from Lego for Return of the Jedi UCS set.
What are you looking forward to, Jez?
Some sort of drone Jedi training ball which fires energy bolts at me, and I then need a decent lightsaber to deflect those energy bolts.
Do you know what? I've got an idea. We could play a game next time we're together. You get a big stick, okay, and you're training, and I'll throw rocks at you. Okay? You've got to bat them away.
I was with you so much. I was really invested in this game, and then I realised where it was going. But I think something like that. I'm all up for a game with you, Stuart. You know that. And in fact, any of you, I'd love to have a game. There's not enough games in the world. But I think drone. I think some sort of drone Jedi training ball would be awesome, and some more vintage collection.
Yeah,
guarantee more of that.
And Pete, outside of Hot Toys, what else are you going to be getting next year?
I think Lego. I think I need to invest in some more Lego. There's the trash compactor, definitely. I think I will pick that up at some stage. Whether I pick up all three of those would be nice. Nice three set to have. I need to go back and pick up the vintage collection bits that I missed as well, because I was buying all the actual Mandalorian ones, so I've missed a few of those. So I just need to go and tick a few boxes on that. And hopefully they should be bringing out more Andor stuff, shouldn't they? That was such an epic series. They should be doing more vintage collection Andor. They've got to do a Luthen or a Mon Mothma. So hopefully they bring out those. So that'd be good to get next year. But they're not going to stop, are they? It's going to keep on coming. It's amazing. Sort of looking at it in the year in review, sort of doing this, because I've obviously never done that before, but just seeing how much actually is coming out and seeing the numbers, it's quite staggering.
Indeed, yeah. There's always good fun. Well. So let's start to close this out. Social media. We're all over social media. Let's just give all of our social media a bit of a plug. So first of all, Facebook. We have two Facebook groups. We've got Generation Skywalker, which is where we kind of do our main stuff, where we post our main things. But we have a community page called We Are Generation Skywalker, where we try to encourage the conversation. We put some polls up in there, and we basically have a more laid back approach on there. Been plenty of stuff going on in that moment. We're also all over Instagram. We have a main account which covers everything. We have a modern account, Daniel, which is going from strength to strength.
Yeah, Gen_Skywalker_modern. So yeah, we've been hitting that hard the last few weeks. I think I said on the last show. So yeah, I've started doing a few competitions on there. So we just started the first one. It'll be finished by the time this show comes out. But I'm thinking I'm going to do some more giveaways. So if you fancy winning some stuff and relevant Star Wars pictures of new stuff that's coming out, then yeah, jump on there and start following.
Indeed. And there's a vintage one to mirror it, Jez?
Yeah, there certainly is. Gen_Skywalker_ this time vintage, for all of your vintage 1977 to let's say 1985, a little bit later maybe, with some glass leak. Lovely images. Come along, join them all three of them.
Yeah, if you can't remember those two, just look for the main Generation Skywalker and you will find them both kind of attached to it. So yeah, all good. We're on TikTok, daily videos, unboxings and stuff on there. There is now, although there is a lot of videos of stuff from interviews behind the scenes, there is now a button you can press on our TikTok account which will take you purely to the Generation Skywalker produced items. So you can just delve straight into things like the committees, like the snippets of Enhanced, like the unboxings. They're all on there. So that is there. We're on YouTube. Craig, YouTube account details?
Yes, YouTube is where all the visual things happen. So all the videos, and we've got things in there from long form enhanced podcasts that total hours, which are great for if you're working or you've got it on in the background and we talk about something that you're not familiar with. You can glance up and sure as heck it'll be on the screen for you to look at. And at the other end of the scale, we've got some very short snippet things. We put little montages of the events we attend. We've got unboxings on there. We've taken sections of the podcast that we think are worth pulling out and highlighting as Skywalker Blasts, a whole host of things. And that's on our YouTube channel. So you just have to search for Generation Skywalker, like and subscribe. That's what all the YouTubers say. Like and subscribe. Hit the bell.
Smash that button.
Smash that button. It helps. The algorithm is a mystery. You hear different things. It's hard to peddle long form videos in this environment. So any any encouragement, anything that kind of gives that algorithm a little hint that you're out there listening, it all helps us massively.
It does. It does.
The work which goes into these enhanced videos, it's not just slapdash. It's not just chucked in there. Let's face it, Craig does all the work pretty much on these enhanced ones, and they are something to be believed. So check them out. Just have them on in the background, but just watch the enhanced shows, you know, because they really, really are a treat for the eyes.
They are great. Podcasts, you can find our podcasts anywhere at all. Any of the providers, just ask Alexa to play Generation Skywalker, and you will find all our podcasts even on there. So wherever you get your podcasts, Generation Skywalker will not be too far away. Please, if you have a couple of spare moments or you like what we do, head over to Apple or Spotify or Podbean and leave us a review, preferably 5 stars. No need to be nasty. And of course, you can go to www.generationskywalker.com, where you'll find links to everything, including some blogs. And you can email us at generationskywalker@gmail.com if you want to suggest a topic, you want to come on a show, just drop us a line and let us know. But that is it, boys. First show of 2023. It's been fun. Pete, great to have you on board. I think we're all ecstatic that you've joined us. We can't wait to see where it goes in 2023.
Indeed, no, great to be with you. Great to be on board, and yeah, thanks for having me.
I'm looking forward to Echo, because we'll book you in for your Generation Skywalker tattoo, which we've all got. Just the crate it is, nothing too big. It's just, you know, about the size of pack of playing cards. So we will get that on your chin. But Pete, thank you so much. So it is good night from Pete.
Good night. Thank you very much.
It is good night from Craig.
Good night. I'll see everybody for the next show, which is our 100th.
Yes, our 100th show. We haven't even mentioned that, have we? But we have got a massive 100th show coming. So watch out for that. We won't give too much away. It is goodbye from Daniel.
This is the way.
And it is goodbye from Jez.
I was going to go shopping, but it's raining. See you next time.
And it is goodbye from me. We're Generation Skywalker. All eras, all passions, all Star Wars.